Hello everyone. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for kicking my best man out of my wedding minutes before the ceremony? I, 29M, just got married to the love of my life, Sarah, 27F, and while it was the happiest day of my life, it almost got ruined by my, now ex, best friend and best man, Jake, 30M. Jake and I have been best friends since high school. He was like a brother to me. So, of course, I made him my best man. Biggest mistake of my life. It started with small, annoying comments. Every time wedding planning came up, Jake would roll his eyes and say things like, "Bro, you sure you want to do this? She's gonna have you on a leash, or enjoy your last days of freedom, man. Soon, it's just yes, dear for the rest of your life." At first, I laughed it off. But then, he started talking about Sarah, saying she was too serious, too controlling, and that she wasn't the fun type. Which is complete bullshit. Sarah is the most supportive, chill person ever. I should have cut him off then, but I thought, maybe he's just acting out because he's scared of losing his drinking buddy. I was so wrong. Jake planned my bachelor party, and I gave him one rule: no strippers. Not because Sarah wouldn't allow it, she literally didn't care, but because I don't like that stuff. It's just not my vibe. So, of course, what does Jake do? He books not one, not two, but 4 strippers. The worst part? He paid one of them extra to try and sit on my lap. When I pushed her away and said I wasn't interested, he burst out laughing and yelled, "Oh my God, you're already whipped. Bro, you're done for." I was fuming. I left my own party early. The next morning, he texted me, "Damn, man. You really are a married guy already. RIP to your balls." At that point, I knew something was off. Fast forward to the wedding day. Everything was going smoothly until 30 minutes before the ceremony. I was in the groom's suite, nervous but happy, when my brother stormed in, looking like he was about to punch someone. He threw his phone at me and said, "Read this." Right. Now. It was a group chat Jake made with my groomsmen. And in it, Jake had sent these texts. $100 says he backs out. Anyone want to bet? Dude is making the biggest mistake of his life. If he actually goes through with it, I give it a year before she takes half his shit. Can't believe my boy is going out like this. Rip. My hands were shaking. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. This wasn't a joke. This was my supposed best friend betting against my marriage on my wedding day. I saw red. I stormed out, found Jake, and said, "Get the F*** out." He laughed and said, "Dude, chill. It's just a joke." I got in his face and said, "No. You don't get to stand next to me at the altar and pretend to support me while you're literally betting on my marriage failing. You're done. Get out." His face changed. He got pissed. "Wow, really? Over some texts? You've seriously turned into the biggest wife since getting with her." That was it. My brother and another groomsman grabbed him and dragged his ass out. I walked back into the suite, took a deep breath, and married the love of my life. And guess what? It was perfect. Sarah didn't find out until after the honeymoon. When I showed her the texts, she just looked at me, smiled, and said, "That's why I married you." Now, mutual friends are saying I overreacted and should have just let it go. Even Jake texted me, "Wow, dude. Can't believe you'd throw away 15 years of friendship over this. Hope it was worth it." And you know what? It was. So, am I the bad person? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for confronting my girlfriend after I found out she's cheating because I'm bad in bed? This just happened, and I still don't know how to process it. I, 29M, have been with my girlfriend, 27F, for a little over 2 years. Our relationship has always felt solid, good communication, good chemistry, or so I thought, and we rarely argue. Lately, though, I had this weird gut feeling that something was off. She was glued to her phone more than usual, and while our sex life was never mind-blowing, it had definitely slowed down. I chalked it up to stress, routine, and life in general. Then last night, she asked me to grab something from her bag while she was in the shower. When I picked up her phone, she'd left it unlocked on the bed. A message popped up from her best friend. The preview read, "I still don't get why you don't just leave if he's that bad in bed." My stomach dropped. I shouldn't have, but I opened the convo, and yeah, I wish I hadn't. There was message after message about how she's been seeing someone else, that it's been going on for months, and that she's never been satisfied with me in bed. Her friend was telling her to break up with me, but my girlfriend said she didn't want to leave because I'm such a great boyfriend in every other way. Apparently, she wishes sex didn't matter so much, but since it does, she needed to get what she's missing somewhere else. I felt sick. When she came out of the shower, I told her I saw the messages. She immediately got defensive, saying I had no right to go through her phone. I told her that wasn't the issue. She's literally cheating on me and talking about it like I'm some clueless idiot. She admitted to it, but said she didn't want to hurt me and that she still loves me, just not in that way. I asked why she never told me she was unhappy in bed, and she said she didn't want to embarrass me and figured it was easier to just handle it on her own. I left that night and have been ignoring her calls. But now I'm second-guessing everything. Part of me feels humiliated, but another part wonders, would I even have had a chance to fix things if she was just honest with me? So, am I the bad person for being mad? Or was she actually trying to protect my feelings, and I'm overreacting? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for refusing to attend my best friend's wedding after she tried to steal my fiancé? Okay, this might sound like something out of a soap opera, but I swear, it's all true, and I need advice. I, 28F, have been best friends with Shelby, 29F, for over 10 years. We met in college and hit it off right away. We have been inseparable ever since. Haven't gone more than 3 days without hanging out. This is my sister's soulmate. We've been through so much together, boyfriends, breakups, career changes, you name it. She's been my absolute best friend, and I thought the world of her. I'm getting married to Ethan, 29M, this summer in July, and I'm really excited, but here's where things get messy. Some months ago, Shelby and I were out for drinks, and we started talking about relationships, as we do. I've always been open with Shelby about Ethan and how much I love him. He's honestly my other half, and we've been dating for 4 years, and we're really solid. No issues. But out of literal nowhere, Shelby started asking weirdly personal questions about him, like details about our sex life, our future plans, how often we argue, etc. At first, I thought it was just typical curiosity or girl talk, so I answered her questions, thinking it was no big deal. Then things started getting more uncomfortable. Shelby started slowly texting me a lot more about Ethan, asking about his plans, where he'd be, what he was up to, even things like does he like to do X on weekends? It was so strange, but I brushed it off. The bombshell came when I went on a weekend trip with Ethan to visit his family out of state. When we returned, I found out that Shelby had sent Ethan a very flirtatious text. He showed it to me, clearly uncomfortable but unsure of how to handle it. She was commenting on how handsome he looked in a recent photo I posted and how she was thinking of him lately. Ethan told me he immediately ignored it, but it still didn't sit right with me. I decided to confront her about it. When I asked her about the text, she became super defensive and claimed it was just a joke and that she wasn't trying anything. She told me she was just complimenting him and insisted she had no bad intentions. At the time, I chose to believe her, but I was uneasy. This has never happened before. Never showed interest in Ethan over the years, I never even knew he was her type. So I brushed it off. A few weeks later, Shelby invited me to a casual hangout at her place with multiple friends. I arrived, and I bring Ethan too. We are all taking shots, listening to music and playing drunken games. A few hours go by, I see Ethan walk back into the house looking uneasy and said he was smoking outside when he ran into Shelby and ended up having an awkward conversation. He said Shelby had been very touchy with him, asking him personal questions, talking about how strong he looked in a picture he posted on Instagram. He told me he was uncomfortable, but didn't want to say anything to me in the moment because he didn't want to hurt my feelings or make me emotional at the kickback. Touching? At this point, I was really furious, so I confronted Shelby the next morning. After hours of crying and multiple lies, she admitted that she had been developing small feelings for Ethan but claimed she never planned to act on them. She tried to gaslight me saying they were intrusive thoughts she couldn't control. She apologized and said she was just going through some emotional stuff and wasn't thinking straight. She told me she loved me like a sister and would never do anything to hurt me. I was crushed. This wasn't some small mistake, this was a betrayal of the highest order. My best friend, someone who I trusted with everything, my life almost, was harboring feelings for my fiancé and had been acting on them, whether she realized it or not. All this time. Was she plotting on me for years? That she could steal my man? How could I not see her being a snake? Shelby was always boy crazy, but never did I think she would ever try anything with Ethan. We are each other number one best friend. How could she think to do this to me? I told her I needed some space from her. She begged me not to end our friendship over something so small. But I couldn't shake the feeling of complete betrayal. I've always been the one who supported her through her struggles, but now I'm left questioning if she even respected our friendship in the first place. I don't have many close friends, so I valued this friendship deeply. So deeply, I was naive enough to forgive her. We still text awkwardly, but it's clear we aren't as close. I don't know why I'm still nice enough to keep holding on. But here's the kicker, she's now getting married to someone else, someone she's been dating on and off for years, and her wedding is in 8 months. She texted me a few weeks ago, asking me to be her maid of honor. I was floored. After everything that's happened, she still expects me to stand by her on such a monumental day of her life, like nothing happened? Just forget it, right? I told her I couldn't do it. I finally said I couldn't support someone who tried to sabotage my relationship. She called me sensitive and a bad friend and said I was overreacting and that she would never do anything to intentionally hurt me. Now she's telling our collegiate mutual friends that I'm being selfish, and of course some of them are taking her side, saying I should forgive her and move on for the sake of our long friendship, and friends like these aren't easy to come by. But I just can't. I've never felt so disrespected in my life. But I'm torn. No one cheated, so am I really overreacting? Am I the bad person for refusing to be in her wedding and ending the friendship after everything that happened over what seemed so small and careless? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.